What's up? My name is Ken Dumbo, the MC with the sauce. Don't forget to subscribe to JQ.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to countrymen, women, and the youth of Zambia, those who are catching us live on various television stations, radio stations, and other media platforms. Today, we come live from a government complex here at the Ministry of Information so that the government can interact with the citizens of this country on a number of issues that have been pertaining in the country. Chief amongst them will be an update on the occurrences in Kasempa relating to the evacuation of miners or illegal miners in that particular locality. We'll also be talking about an update on the unfolding situation of the escape of Emmanuel Banda, MP for Itauke. And we will also be updating the nation on a few other issues. And so, we are addressing this briefing jointly with the Minister of Labour and Member of Parliament for Kasempa, Honorable Tambatamba, and the Minister of Mines, Honorable Kabuswe. And so, without spending more time, because we're already late for time, I'll request that the Honorable Minister of Labour, Member of Parliament for Kasempa, can ventilate on a few issues relating to the Kasempa incident, after which we'll request the Honorable Minister of Mines to pick it up from there, and then I'll give an update thereafter on the other one or two other issues of national importance that our citizens need to be updated on or about. Thank you. Honorable Minister.
Members of the press, countrymen and women, young people, I'll be very concise, but I understand that, I do appreciate that there will be some follow-up questions, which we shall share across the table. But I'm here today as a Member of Parliament for Kasempa in the Northwestern Province, southeast of Solwezi or Kalumbila, between Solwezi and Kalumbila, where, as they say in our local languages, that when an elephant is hunted down, the talk of the village will be about the elephant and all that goes with it. So today, Wednesday, August 7th, 2024, I wish to address some concerns that have arisen from the statements that have been made in the past 24 or so hours by former President Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu regarding the recent incident involving illegal gold miners in Kasempa. I'm sure the nation is aware that over the past 1 month, there has been an upsurge of illegal mining activities around gold in Kasempa, where we have got 2 chiefdoms. One chiefdom within Kasempa, which is a district and constituency, is Senior Chief Kasempa's chiefdom, where there is the Shindomona deposit of gold that has been discovered, and in Chief Ingwe's, where there is the Kaimbwe gold deposit. First and foremost, I'd like to clarify that the gold which was recently discovered was not found at Shindomona, was not found on barren land or land that has got no ownership. The area in question at Shindomona in Dengwe Ward is an established mining zone owned by individuals with full mining rights. Individuals with full mining rights. So that place is not just an open area where everyone and everybody can go to begin to extract. The location where these illegal mining activities took place falls under the jurisdiction of Mulopwe Metal Mining Limited. This company was granted a mining license on October 1, 2020. The law enforcement officers who had been patrolling the area and trying to restrain the invasion for quite a bit of time, as I indicated that it had been going on for a while, and law enforcement officers were visiting the area to warn the miners of the area, having consultation and dialogue with them. So there was quite a bit of dialogue there. So eventually, the law enforcement officers were deployed to remove the illegal miners who were trespassing on this mining licensed property, because it was apparent that now the area, Kasempa, had received more than over 2,000 people who had come to prospect and to collect. So more than 2,000 coming from everywhere within Zambia, and indeed beyond Zambia, beyond the borders of Zambia. Other nationalities also have were detected in the area. So here, what moves this government to deploy now to evacuate the location is basically the rule of law by which we came into governance, amongst others. Of course, economic empowerment. We knew economic development or prosperity, and indeed this we intended to do through the rule of law across all sectors. So in this case, you would understand that the Public Order Act is abrogated somewhere. In this case, at the same time, Mines and Minerals Act, that law also is abrogated. The Public Health Act as well is affected. Immigration, all these are pieces of legislation, pieces of law, regulations that have been abrogated, and hence the law enforcement officers had to move in. Regarding the former president's claims of fatalities during the evacuation, I want to ensure the public, the nation at large, that he was less than candid, because the law enforcement agencies had thoroughly investigated and mapped the area, and so therefore they executed according to the procedures that they operate by. So there is no death or fatality recorded in Kasempa. Checked with Dengwe Rural Health Center, the Kasempa Urban Clinic, none there, and indeed spoken to the executive director who runs Mukinge Mission Hospital. There is no death recorded in all those locations. So these statements by the former president were mere allegations and truth statements that are not backed by anything. So as at yesterday and this morning, talking to the authorities in Kasempa, there's no death. According to information gathered this far, no live bullets, ammunition was used. As I've said, no deaths recorded. However, out of the incident of evacuation, there's 2 minor casualties with bruises that were treated from the outpatient section of the hospital and let go to go back home. So therefore, there is no funeral recorded this far in Kasempa. I also want to emphasize that the outcome of these investigations are still going on, and any updates will be reported later on. It is important, therefore, for everyone to understand that the law applies to all citizens equally, and making unfounded claims, unfounded claims or causing unnecessary alarm to the nation is a serious matter that Zambians must frown upon. Zambians must frown upon. Someone who should hold the befitting position and posture of a father of a nation must take their time. Must take their time to investigate and get the facts on the ground, and then speak thereafter. So in such a manner, you will make a reasoned decision, and you will also take a reasoned action. So we must all act responsibly. I want to state that as area member of parliament, representative of the people. I appeal to all our citizens, starting from the former president, Mr. Edgar Chabalungu, and indeed all other supporters, his supporters, and indeed all other people who are in the area where this is happening, and those on social media, to take responsibility, to get facts, so that we do not alarm the nation for no reason, because we know that such impacts on many areas of our lives, including investment. With these few words, I submit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable. We transition. Don't cause a fatality at the Ministry of Information.
They say that there's illegal mining at the ministry. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Information. I recognize you. I also recognize my colleague, the Minister of Labor, who is MP for Kasempa, Ministry of Information officials, and of course, you members of the press. Honorable Minister, I also want to emphasize that what happened in Kasempa is no more police work, where government felt they needed to reinforce, the fact that this government is intolerable to illegal mining. I think that 3 weeks ago, His Excellency the President in Mumbwa even announced a task force that has been formed to specifically deal with issues of illegal mining. You will understand that this government, like my colleague said, was elected on one of the premises on which it was elected was transparency. Why you are seeing a lot of these things is because this government has nothing to hide. When something is discovered, it is all for everyone to see. We had colleagues who were discovering things and hide them from the public. This government is open about it, and we have nothing to hide. Now, I want to make it very clear to you members of the press, and through you, our citizens, that license holders, according to the Mines and Minerals Act, license holders have the responsibility to ensure security on their tenements. It's a requirement which, if not followed, can even warrant suspension of a particular license. I'll give an example of the Senseli license, where I saw an article yesterday in one of the papers, which was really a misplaced and misinformed article. Government does not own Senseli mine. And as such, I also want to respond to our colleagues from TIZ that the responsibility of making sure there is no illegal mining anywhere, including Senseli mine, including Kasempa mine, what is the name of the license?
Mulopwe.
Mulopwe, is the responsibility of the license holders to make sure there is no illegal mining. So when somebody makes a very damaging statement to say government has been watching illegal mining, for example, at Sensedi, no, the owner of that license, the Sensedi license, is actually owned by two Zambians. One is Mr. Max Mutale, the other one is Mr. Chimba, who owns that license. So, but even on any mine, could be Mopani, could be a Kansanshi, if an accident happens, government takes a serious interest in it because now it involves lives of citizens. And that is why you had seen us go into Sensedi. In terms of their operations, they are independent of us. They have their own operations. If they engage Peruvians or they engaged Indians, that is the preserve of the license holder to go into a partnership with whoever they want to work with. And when we say proliferation, for example, of so many mineral processing licenses, if anybody has met the requirement to have a mineral processing license, the ministry will give them. If it is illegal, the ministry will move in and shut it down. That is how we work. So I want to sound a warning to all license holders that you as a license holder, the responsibility of dealing with illegal mining on your tenement solely lies on you. And if abrogated, government will take away that license. This goes for, I'm hearing negativities coming out of Choma, that there are illegalities going on there. We are coming after all illegal miners. In Mumbwa, where His Excellency the President was at a particular time, I think 2-3 weeks ago, we are coming after illegal miners. All over the country, we will not tolerate illegal mining. This government has been very clear about it. So if at all there are tenements where illegal activities are taking place, after all, it is up to the license holder to actually define what is illegal mining on their tenement. If it is my license, as long as I'm mining within the law, within the requirements of the Mines and Minerals Act, then nobody should interfere with me. So I want these misrepresentations of facts to end today. Government moves in when it sees, like what happened in Kasempa, that here now we are going to lose so many lives. Here now we are going to lose a mining tenement that can give wealth to this nation. And that is why we said as government, we are moving in. Because maybe the holder of the license was overwhelmed by the gold rush that happened and they couldn't manage. And that's why together with the holder of the license, we said, let's go in and deal with that. Generally, if you are the holder of a tenement, you are a miner, all the artisanals that we have given, the small scale, large scale, please make sure that you secure your tenement. It is a requirement of the law, and this government will ensure that we implement the law to the latter. So please understand, we are very intolerable to illegal mining. And that is why this country, for the first time, in a few days, will be launching the aerial survey of the whole Zambia. We have already engaged somebody to do it. We want to map the country. We want to know where all minerals are sitting so that we mine properly. This is the way to go. This is what is called bringing order or bringing sanity to a sector that was riddled with insanity in the past, riddled with illegalities. These are legacy matters, but this government is not shy of accepting, yes, there are illegal mining taking place, but we are dealing with them. They have been entrenched, they've been here with us for a long time, but we are dealing with them. Mapatizia area, Choma area, we are coming after you. Mpika area, we are coming after you. Because this task force will be so strong that will be very intolerable to any kind of illegal mining. Minister, before I hand back to you, I also want to talk about the payments that are taking place at KCM. There have been so much misinformation. And I want to say this. Up to now, KCM has paid over 300 miners, suppliers and contractors. The process is ongoing. They were given up to 31st August to finish the process. Yesterday, we went there just on a fact-finding mission because of the misinformation that has been coming. This government has worked so hard with President Hakainde Hichilema to bring back the mining sector to life. And now we are busy working out modalities to make sure that the sector now begins to actually give more benefit to you, the Zambian people. That's why we are making it breathe. So I thought I needed to make that clear, and I once again repeat, illegal mining will not be tolerated. Thank you very much, Minister.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister for Mines. I now come to the issues, or a few issues that I need to update the nation on. Before I move into those issues, let me tag on as a rider to what Honorable Minister of Mine has said regarding what Transparency International Zambia is talking about today regarding mining at Senseli and the comments they are making. I want to make this another appeal to Transparency International Zambia and other like-minded institutions that we hold them dear and very important to the execution of our democratic governance as a country. And we would like them to continue to be respected institutions by government and all citizens, locally and also internationally. Only last week or the week before, TIZ was found in another situation of making commentaries that were completely unfounded, relating to constitutional amendments which do not exist. Now, TIZ has a long history of trust and confidence by and from the citizens as to their work, which is to fight corruption. And so they made commentaries about constitutional amendments which do not exist. And here they are again talking about Sensele mine on issues and statements that are unsubstantiated. We wish to take this opportunity to remind them, unlike institutions, that this particular government is a government of the people, by the people, for the people, running governance on the basis of an open door policy. And respected institutions such as TIZ should therefore find it befitting to walk to any of these government offices or line ministries to get information before they begin to mislead the public. Because if they also get tainted and have the integrity maimed by getting involved in an octopus arrangement of commenting on everything and sundry beyond that which has created credibility to them, then as a government, as a country, we shall lose credible partners in government, in governance. So we call upon them. There is no point in pandering to the gallery, playing to the gallery, to get covered by the media when you are speaking with half-baked or no information at all. There must be certain institutions in a country that when they speak, citizens should know that these are on firm ground. That is how government is held accountable. We need a buoyant and vibrant civil society, non-governmental actors, So those who are privileged to occupy that space, they should guard their integrity fervently, because we need them now when we're in government and when we are not in government as citizens. So they should not bring an octopus approach to their governance of the institution. As chairman of APNAC, African Parliamentarians Network Against Corruption, for 10 years at Parliament, we worked well with TIZ, and I know that TIZ is an institution of integrity. That is the foundation upon which they stand. Let them not be jacks of all trades. They can be, but to the extent that they must speak with facts. We are not limiting their freedom of speech and expression, but we need them to stand tall in a setup where some of our non-state actors are highly polluted. They should not. Let me now come to the issue of Emmanuel J. Banda, MP for Petauke. As the nation knows, Emmanuel Banda, MP, who was receiving treatment in hospital in Chipata, escaped from lawful custody some 3 days ago, and his whereabouts remain unknown to date. I'd like the nation to know that the security agencies are making headway in the manhunt and pursuit for Emmanuel Banda to bring him back to lawful custody. This matter will be followed to the latter, and the government is deploying all available means and resources to ensure that he comes back. This is because he is a citizen of this country, and as a person who is under lawful custody of the state will have to work to ensure that his presence is secured in this country. And I also like to demystify a notion that Emmanuel Banda, MP, is being treated differently, or that his search will be different from any other fugitive. No. He will be looked for just like any other prison escapee. And the government is determined to bring him back. Government also expresses its deepest concern that a lawmaker who should lead by example in the observance of the law, the rule of law, should take front seat in breaking the law by escaping from lawful custody. Now, questions are beginning to emanate as to how he would escape from lawful custody when he has been given all the relevant humane treatment that is supposed to be accorded to him like any other citizen. Is it because he is running away and trying to evade the course of justice on the matters that the investigative agencies have preferred to him as charges that he stands alleged with? Those are questions that we cannot answer for now, but those are the permutations that his escape has now opened a window of for people to begin to question. I would like to indicate that so far the investigations have progressed well and revealed that this was a well orchestrated escape, and that in its execution a number of people were involved. He was aided to escape. The Zambia police and other agencies of the security of the state are closing down on all those who were complicit to this escape and their sponsors. Currently, Emmanuel J. Banda is believed to be hiding within traceable vicinity, or in other words, within neighborhoods where he may easily be brought back into lawful custody of the state, so that the wheels of justice can continue in motion to their terminal conclusion. I also like to indicate that one of Emmanuel Banda's wives is presently undergoing interrogations by the police relating to the aiding of the flight of Emmanuel Banda. So, the nation should know that that particular wife is the one who was in his presence at the time of securing his privacy, so that the security guards or police or wardens who were in charge to secure his presence could give that opportunity for his flight. The nation therefore should know that social media statements that his wife has been arrested are not correct. Let me also add and urge citizens not to rush into unsubstantiatable conclusions. This matter, we reiterate, is not a political matter. The matter of Emmanuel Banda is a criminal matter being treated just like any other criminal matter in the nation. And therefore, those colleagues with a habit of preemptive assertions about the state of affairs relating to this matter, we ask them to refrain at all times. There seems to be a pattern from certain colleagues who, when Emmanuel Banda was said to have been abducted, even before many people could comment about him having been found, they were quick to say he has been found in Kafue. They are also quick to begin to question his whereabouts just upon his disappearance. The government is looking upon such kind of conduct with utmost disdain. And we want to urge all citizens, particularly those who hold themselves to be leaders, such as members of parliament, to exercise some level of responsibility and not be the ones at the forefront of disinformation and misinformation. Because when they are the ones who speak, unsuspecting ordinary citizens take their statements to be gospel truth. We will be keeping the nation updated as events unfold on this particular matter, not because it is a special matter, but of course because we know that this is an important and a matter which is distinguishable to other matters, because it is a member of parliament involved who was elected to represent people and whose disappearance attracts not just his constituents or constituency or national attention, but the international community as well gets concerned about such kind of occurrences in the nation. And therefore, we will, like I've said, do everything possible that as and when is reasonably necessary, we do update the nation on what we will have been able to encounter or the developments thereof. For now, we ask for calm amongst his electorates and amongst citizens. And just like the alleged abduction, we are hopeful that he will be brought back in good health so that he can continue where he left. Let me also be able to give context to the statement that was made by the Minister of Home Affairs that it was a mistake, as it has been reported in some quarters of our media, that it was a mistake for the state or the police or indeed the correctional services to treat Emmanuel J. Banda MP with a humane kind of attitude. And that has attracted some reactions to indicate that every citizen is entitled to be treated humanely. I want to place on record that Honorable Mwimbu did not indicate and did not mean to say that the state was at fault to accord him that treatment. Rather, he was emphasizing the point that ordinarily any prisoner would not be allowed to ask for privacy and be able to be given room where he will be alone with his attendees or visitors away from the attendant presence of the security personnel who were guarding and securing his presence. But that in this particular case, because the officers on duty were cognizant of the fact that they were dealing with a supposedly honorable member of parliament, and I'm saying supposedly because a member of parliament is expected to exhibit a certain etiquette of conduct, particularly not to breach the law, because they are the lawmakers. He was given that latitude which ordinarily is not supposed to be given to a prisoner. That is what Honorable Mwimbo was talking about, and not to say Emmanuel J. Banda was given preferential treatment in terms of human rights, which ordinarily he shouldn't have been given. The question was not on human rights treatment. Hari Karaba, don't be in a hurry to go to the media. The question was about him being given preferential treatment as an MP, that when he asked to say, kindly give us some privacy, we want to attend to ourselves, we shall call you when we are done, he was granted that unusual opportunity because he was treated as a member of parliament. That is the context, that is the issue. It has nothing to do with selective application of the law in terms of the respect for, recognition for, protection, and upholding and defending of human rights by the state. It was not a human rights issue. It was an interpersonal treatment of a person who is held in esteem, that certain things, it is so remote that you can conjure an idea that they will do something unthinkable. That is what Honorable Mwimbo was talking about. So, that I hope clarifies to my friend Honorable Hari Karama, and that in future he should not hurry to go to the media, to go and issue statements when he has not understood what was being spoken about. Let me also now take this opportunity to update the nation that the maize being imported from Tanzania has begun to arrive in the country. Every day now, for a few days that have gone past, truck loads are entering the borders of our country through Nakonde border, carrying maize which Zambia or as government imported to mitigate the food challenge situation in the country arising out of this drought. The trucks hauling this maize are bringing this maize into the depots at Kaperimposhi. And in the next few days, I should be able to ask you, dear colleagues from the media, that we do an on-spot check, fact-finding mission on these particular transactions that are happening right now, where this maize has begun to arrive in the country. Let me therefore take also opportunity as I update the nation on this particular very important issue to indicate that the main transporters of this maize are First Quantum Minerals. First Quantum Minerals mining company, using their trucks, and government reached a decision to award First Quantum Minerals the opportunity to transport or to haul this maize from Tanzania into Zambia because of two factors amongst many. One, they have a reliable, huge fleet of trucks. That's number one. Number two, these trucks are transporting or hauling copper from Zambia into Tanzania. And when they empty the copper, they have been coming empty to come and collect copper back into Tanzania. And so, being a prudent government, it was seen as an opportunity that First Quantum Minerals are engaged to utilize their trucks, because then they are just charging government for one route, which is from Tanzania into Zambia, and not charging government for their trucks moving from Zambia into Tanzania and back. It was a prudent decision in line with the prudence of President HH and the New Dawn administration. It is therefore shocking to hear from some sections, again, allegations that how could First Quantum Minerals be given this transportation contract when they are not in transportation, they are a mining company. These are friends to HH. Come on. Sometimes we should be able to say thank you, or even just appreciate when the right things are being done. How many friends does this president have that each one who is given to do government work, like First Quantum Minerals, now at concessional rates, is said to be HH's friends? When did First Quantum Minerals come into Zambia? They were here way before the UPND government came into office. And all of a sudden, they have become HH's friends. That's why they've been given this contract. It only makes sense that such a decision was made. We know that in the past, whereas the nation is faced with this calamity and national disaster and emergency, it would have been an opportunity for those in government offices to make money by awarding contracts to their friends and to themselves. They would have come out rich. They would have come out boasting that 2 million is just change from shopping. Can't buy my wife a perfume for this amount. That's too little. That's the boasting you used to see. That is the money you used to see dollars being bent. Those are the monies you used to see people playing golf with money. That is the money you used to see people on a boat at Kariba telling the nation, mwebale chula lwenu, mwebale chisunga bwino batata banani. Walungu. That is the money used to be told off to say, me I have resigned from this position, I have joined abali nakasaka kandalama. Now you have a government which is prudent. A government which is ensuring that within this limited resource envelope, so much has to be done from so little. We should not allow these political vuvuzelas who are specialized in propaganda again to take center stage. You have seen now what former President Lungu has done. He has cascaded from being an esteemed former head of state into a political activist. Now he has become a spokesperson of the defunct Patriotic Front. He is now the chief spokesperson. All statements, when did you last hear from a spokesperson of PF? Because all statements are now written for him in his name as a chief spokesman. Or in a desperate move to come back to power, to the corridors of power, because they have failed to survive out there where you need hard work. They were used to an easy life. The life they were used is just exchange messages. Let's meet at this place, or sign this contract. That's why they are so desperate to come back into office. President HH has become a subject of ridicule because he's every day closing down all loopholes, all valves that were breathing corruption and plunder of national resources, enriching just a clique of individuals who would later come out to boast that they were well to do. Personally, I'm proud to serve under this president, and I'm sure that my colleagues are.
Amen.
Because every single cabinet meeting we have, he reminds us, those who want to make money, go and work in the private sector. That's where there's money. Those who have agreed to sit on this table to work with me, let us prioritize service to the nation. And that is why we must also be proud, all of us. We have a president who is walking the talk. He told the nation, me when I become president, I'm not raring to go to State House because I already have a house I'll live in. He continues to live in that house. He says, I'm not going in to make money. I've already worked for my family. He's not getting paid for himself. All of us here, we are driving the second car, motor vehicles we inherited from the previous administration. Very unprecedented. Conditions of service, he has told us. Anything else we can talk about, I don't want to hear a member of parliament, I don't want to hear a minister talk about adjusting your salaries now. I don't want you to hear talk about buying new vehicles when our people are suffering. And it is that attitude that has delivered free education. It is that attitude that has reinstated new allowances at students at public universities. It is that attitude that has made it possible to expand CDF from 1.6 in 2021 to 30.7, and very soon, next month, I'm sure, another figure. It is that attitude that has allowed government to pay off retirees, to pay off Tazara workers, KCM arrears. It is that attitude that has brought the mines back to where they are now. And you can see the exuberance of the local authorities in the mining areas, who for the first time after a long time, they are being paid their dues and they are able to pay their retirees, they are able to meet their wage bill. There is no more 6 months in this country of council workers not being paid. There is no more 10 months National Housing Authority workers not being paid. There is no more uncertainty of public service workers as to when they will get paid. All such are some of the things we hope we should be able to begin now to talk about as we enter 3 years of this administration. Because on the 12th, which will be next week, Zambians went to cast their vote for change. And I think that this change is beginning to manifest itself in our midst. Yes, we know, and we are cognizant as government of the fact that we are in a difficult situation, primarily precipitated by this drought which has caused electricity shortage, deficit, water shortages, it has caused food shortages. But again, your government has risen to the challenge. You are seeing the meaningful investments and promotion of investments and incentives being put to stimulate alternative energy generation in the energy sector. You are seeing the hard drive to pay off the debts that were accruing to those who are generating power, such as Sinohydro were paid to quickly finish off all the 5 turbines at Kafue Gorge Lower. Hadn't it been for the drought, we would not talk about load shedding, because our generation capacity, as we stand today, is more than our national electricity demand requirements. So it is just a drought. This year, our farmers had responded, and we also thank many public service workers, including those in the formal sector, but not public service workers, who had responded to go big time into maize production. Again, if it were not for the drought, this country should have retained its position as a food basket of the region. We would not have been talking about queues of minimum. But your government has responded through ZNS allied millers to ensure we mitigate the pricing of minimum. Today, as we speak, with this drought, if you did not have a prudent government in office, the suffering which we are seeing today would have been times 10, because families would have had to deal with issues of food here, looking for money to buy food, and also looking for money to pay for school fees. The government has mitigated. Look at social cash transfer. It has been doubled from where it was in 2021, and now we have emergency social cash transfer. And only last sitting of cabinet approved cash for work to ensure that those who may not directly be affected by the drought, but they are indirectly affected because of the poor harvest, so that people even in urban areas who enlist for cash for work, legally and lawfully, not tantamount and political affiliation. So those people who are chorusing to say life is difficult, no, HH has failed, just know that they could be part of those people who were beneficiaries of the plunder of the previous administration, and don't give them a listening ear. Because where we are today as a country, we can't afford any step to slide, any step backwards. We should not regress on the gains that this far have been made. Otherwise, we will have ourselves to blame. But remember, when you have a bad government, it's not easy to remove it. Now that we removed one, we should not give an opportunity for this government to become as bad as that one, and we should not allow that government to come back or another with similar prospects and traits. Dear colleagues, thank you for the opportunity. I don't know if there are questions.
Thank you very much. We do have some questions from online, I think, for the Honorable Ministers of Mines and also of Labor. And we are running into news time, so perhaps maybe after these questions are answered, we'll close for the day.
Yes, you can read the question. They are the ones you have given us?
Yes.
Okay?
So probably just read them aloud,
Okay.
so that for the benefit of our...
So we have a question coming from Chongo, Prudential Mkopa. How will the Geographical Survey Department ensure that they have full control on all the data to be generated from the mapping exercise? Is there anything to guarantee this in the contract? The second question is from Charles Innocent Emmanuel. Why did government give someone else to find out how much minerals we have in our soil instead of itself? Okay. Will those engaged give accurate mineral composition?
Yes. So thank you so much to Prudential Mkupa Chongo and Charles. Number one, when we were doing this contract, it's a contract. It's not like you just, decide to give somebody, go and map, then you will come and find out. There were discussions, we made sure that we put in place. In fact, it was something that was advertised and people threw in bids. One of the key things about mapping or aerial surveys is that there has to be an agreement as to who owns the data. So when they are doing that, they will be doing it in collaboration with the Ministry of Mines, particularly the Geological Survey Department. So our officers will be with them. That is the agreement. They cannot take that data anywhere. Number two, somebody was saying, why did government give somebody else? Well, it's like you have a mine, for example, and you want engineers that can help you. If you don't have that local expertise, you are free to hire expertise. So government basically just hired expertise, not that they gave somebody else to do it. We are the ones that are doing it. It's the government of the Republic of Zambia, through your taxes, that are funding this. So it's wholly owned by the government of the Republic of Zambia. So what we have hired from Excalibur is expertise. They're a well-known, mapping company, and they've been in this business for quite a long time. And believe you me, we will not just let them do whatever they want. There are clauses in the contracts that make sure your interest and my interest are actually protected as this is being done. These are very valid questions, because sometimes you can allow people to do mapping, then they hide the data, but we have made sure that that is protected. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. And the last question for the day is coming from Patrick Nzamu. Why don't, it's for the Minister of Labor, why don't you follow employers who do not follow the labor laws and not treating their employees well? Many employers are mistreating their employees. That's the question, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to see that everyone is satisfied about the situation in Kasempa, and there are no more questions that are coming. But should there be any, I am available for contact. That's Mr.
Patrick
Nzamu.
Mr. Nzamu, I'm sure you are aware that we have amongst the number of procedures for compliance to the labor laws in their totality, and inspections is very central to following up on employers. Those that are doing badly, not doing well, like from what has been expressed in the question, including those that are doing well, who are modeling for others. If it never used to be done before, we have adopted that to ensure that we are checking for poor practice in compliance, and also those who are doing well so that they become examples to others for exchange and benchmarking. One other element that we have brought about within the New Dawn administration is joint inspection. Previously, you had one officer go alone or two go out to undertake an inspection. But we realized that it was both cost effective as well as very a good practice or excellency at practice to be able to take all the institutions other than labor, the statutory institutions that are also supervising elements of the labor laws, like those in social security, NAPSA, workers' compensation. At the time, NIMA was at the ministry, NIMA as well, but I believe we will continue that practice as well, that they still come along. That we go at the same time so that we are able to triangulate on matters of incompliance immediately and talk to each other, because some of the interventions you have to put in place are also might also require to have interventions beyond one entity. So we have also installed at our ministry a call center where people can bring in their issues to call out, and so that we are able to attend to them at their workplace. We accept and acknowledge that where there's been malgovernance, poor practice for a long time, it takes a bit of time for you to bring everything together. One of the initiatives which I will end with that we are working on is to have a licensing mechanism for good compliance, or rather for compliance, so that those who whatever symbols we are going to use for compliance and for incompliance, they will stand out, they will be spotted out as they go to procure other services, whether for procuring to undertake business with other institutions and government or any other. So we are doing everything possible, and remember, we are sanctioning. Over a long time, there was no sanction even financially at the Ministry of Labour, but now we are actually charging employers who renege on their duties at compliance with the labour laws. So we are doing everything that must be done to ensure that workers are protected. So all these initiatives mean that we are working on more and more refinement of the systems for compliance at the workplace. That's it.
Thank you very much. As we close, Honourable Minister, there is a question for each government spokesperson from Dominic. Now that JJ is a fugitive, can the Speaker declare his seat vacant? So maybe after you answer that, you give your concluding remarks as we sign out for news.
Oh, thank you very much. The question is, now that Emmanuel J. Banda is a fugitive, can the Speaker declare the seat vacant? Well, I wouldn't want to venture into that territory, because the preoccupation of government is that he be brought back to custody, and that the wills of justice, the ends of justice can be met. If I were to begin to talk about his seat, I think that would be like a prejudiced position. We want him back, and I think that if he is exonerated, we want him back into Parliament. You know that this particular President HH, does not like wasteful expenditure of taxpayers' money into unnecessary by-elections. That is the last thing we would want to see. Elections are around the corner in 2026, less than a year and a half. So we wouldn't want to see more by-elections in between now. So we want him back. It's part of the fabric of our society. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Ministers and members of the press. We've come to the end of today's briefing. If you want follow-up interviews, we can arrange. Thank you very much.
Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, J Cool, and turn on the notification bell, cause I'm gonna see you in the next video.